We back, boys! What is up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today we're here to talk more Forza Horizon, but more specifically, the expansion pass. So the expansion pass is very, very interesting for a few different reasons. Number one, we know absolutely nothing about what's going to be in the expansion pass. Sure. And you can already buy it on the store, which is quite weird. Usually with Forza expansion passes, they don't usually come out till a bit later on, and obviously with Horizon 4 now being a few months fresh, we're going to look towards maybe January and February. Around this time, I assume, is when the first expansion usually drops. I know for the previous games, that is when the last expansions have dropped. And I'm going to talk a bit about what I would like to see, I'm going to talk about what I would expect, and just a little bit about expansion passes in previous Forza games and what we can come to expect in Horizon 4, because I'm sure things are going to be a little bit different with how content is being rolled out in this game. So first things first, let's talk about my wish list, my perfect kind of list of things that I would like to see from a Horizon expansion. Number one, and this was something which I kind of wanted to see when the game first came out, but you know, it's something which I'd still love to see now, is actual real tracks in the map. So what I mean is tracks like Silverstone, tracks like Brands Hatch, actually incorporated in the map itself, and this would tie in perfectly for a kind of like a pro circuit expansion. Now a lot of people are going to argue, well, you get this in motorsport, so why on earth would you have it in Horizon? I think honestly, with Horizon's physics, it would be really cool to kind of see one or two English tracks in the game. This would also tie in perfectly for cars. I know a lot of the race cars from the last game got taken out, so cars like the the Viper GT car, that's not in the game anymore. There's a lot, I think the Ferrari 458 Italia GT car isn't in the game anymore, so you could have the inclusion of, say, like GT3 cars, as well as like BTCC cars, like obviously staying in kind of tune with the British theme. It's just something that I'd like to see. Very, very test drive, very, very reminds me of the Crew as well in many ways, but I think that's one of the things that those games did really, really well. I think one thing that I still would love to see in a Horizon game period is like actual tracks in the map. I was kind of hoping that this was going to be the game to do that. Obviously with England, you know, they've got such good ties with people like Goodwood, so you could easily have the Goodwood hill climb in the game. Obviously they've got the licenses for Silverstone with Forza Motorsport, so I don't feel any reason why those types of things could not be in this game, and I'd love to see that in this, you know, like expansion pass thing. Another thing I'd like to see, and it again goes back to Forza's amazing brand deals, is a hoonigan expansion. This would open up so many different opportunities. So you can have a Gymkhana, you know, DLC. You could also have a drift mode added to the game. There's a lot of ways they could do this. There's already a lot of hoonigan cars in the game. They also have the Formula D license, so there's ways they can incorporate that. But seeing a drift mode, seeing, you know, a Gymkhana mode in the game could be really, really interesting. That would take a lot of effort, and I understand, you know, like drifting, it isn't exactly the easiest thing with sometimes for a lot of people. Forza is a very casual game, but I would love to see that. I think honestly with the kind of brand stuff they're doing with hoonigan at the moment, obviously they've just announced the hoonigan ute with the game and stuff, really cool things. I don't see any reason why they couldn't get Ken Block in the game and, you know, actually get a full-on hoonigan expansion with him in the game, taking you around Gymkhana tracks in the UK, and it all leads up to a final Gymkhana. Maybe they release the next Gymkhana with this in mind. Obviously that might be somewhat late because the Ute has already been announced, but you can see where the inspiration can come from. It's something they could easily do somewhere down the line, even if it is all fictional. So seeing one of those two in my ideal world would be perfect, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think either of those are going to happen. I'm going to talk a bit about what I do think is going to happen. I do think we're probably going to get an asphalt based DLC, and I also think we're going to get off-road based DLC. They seem to do this every time, and it's fair enough. You know, Horizon's about all types of motorsport and vehicles and stuff. Personally, I'm more an asphalt type of guy, so I'd love to see more ass. Big bet again. I think a drift expansion is just something they simply wouldn't do because of the type of expansion it is. Forza is a very casual game, and drifting isn't particularly casual, and I know a lot of people would argue that drifting is really easy in a Horizon, but you know, you got to keep in mind this is on the Game Pass, and you know, people who play the Game Pass aren't exactly car people for the most part. You know, it's very, very kind of like just broad, you know, range of people. It's still something which could be completely done, but I don't think Forza wants to step their foot in that for a specific reason. I definitely think we're going to get an expansion maybe towards January to March time. That's where we're maybe going to see the first one, and we're probably going to see the second one some point in the summer, a little bit after. And they're probably going to release separately as well, obviously with the expansion pass being a little bit cheaper. There's many ways this could go, the whole expansion thing. It's really interesting. It's really weird they haven't announced anything. Obviously, everything I'm saying in this video is speculation, so do take it with a pinch of salt. But it's interesting. interesting. It's interesting to see where this goes. Who knows? We might get leaks soon about what's coming up next. I'm fully sure that the first expansion is underway and that they're going to come in the next year. I'm very certain on that. But let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. What do you think about expansions? What do you think about Forza? What do you think about what is to come? Do you think it's weird that they've listed this without any details on what's actually happening? Let me know down in the comment section down below. But that's been it from me today. If you guys enjoyed, if you did, make sure to go ahead and hit the like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys have been awesome, stay safe, and peace.